Okay, I wanted to talk to you real quick about the placing the sway bar bushings on the Dodge Grand Caravan. What you're looking at right here is pretty much all you need. I have seen a couple videos on this. Want to throw my 2 cents in. Mine's a 05. That's a 15 millimeter. You want to have the swivel ratchet because the driver's side is extremely hard to reach, but you can do it with this. And you definitely want a wrench like this, a 15 millimeter. Boom. Just some pointers, you know, you get these for about $8 at the auto store. These are the old ones. Obviously these are wore out. You can tell because when you go down and you jack the car up and get under there, you can push that sway bar back and forth by hand, which is a no-no. Shouldn't happen. Quick tips, things that I learned besides the tools that you need. You get under there, you can get disoriented, and you really need to realize which way these things go. Now, these are the old ones. The split was there, and that was the mistake I made. Is I thought, well, if this is where the split is, that's where it's going to be. And when I got under there, it was different. Also, my new ones didn't have this groove in them. So you really got to go by the position of the and the shape of the bushing. Always this lump here goes downward, and your groove has to go outward because the flange, the bracket, has a groove here too. You're going to look up from underneath the car, and you're going to see these, and the mechanic's going to tell you, well, these need to be done, and that's what happened to me. And he told me $150. So I said, no thanks, I'll look at it myself. And turned out these were $7.99 at the auto parts store. So I went, wow, he's making a lot of money to take a couple bolts off. I'll give him that thing up on a lift would be great, but I jacked mine up and put on jack stands, and crawled under there, and took me about over an hour to do it because I'd never done them before. Anyway, besides the positioning, you got to remember. Okay, also here's another thing I learned. Once you get your bolts out, all right, that sway bar will move back and forth for you to get these out easier. These are going to probably be more dry rotted if the old ones, and it's going to not be as supple as the new ones, easy to bend apart. But what I did, and you may want to do, is just slide them down away towards the tire. Okay, slide the bushing away, and then you can deal with it later because you can reach it from the edge. If you turn the wheel, if it's elevated, all right, you can turn the wheel and then reach in and yank this off the sway bar. Okay, after you've installed the new bushing. See, so it's way easier than being under there. If you're laying on your back, you know, it's easier to just push this aside if it'll slide down, which it should, because if yours is worn out. If you can yank it off, great, yank it off. But man, when I was under there, it was having problems. I was able to wiggle it and slide it out of my way, stick the new one on, and then after the job, I just went in and pried this apart with a big screwdriver and yanked it off the sway bar, and my job was done. So that was another tip I learned. I think that was about it. The one on the passenger side is pretty easy because it's easy to reach. The driver's side one, man, there's something stuck. You've got to reach your hand in there, and it's all kinds of crazy to get in there. But you can do it if you have a swivel or ratchet with a 15 mil and then a 15 mil open face. It's way faster. So I think that's about it. I mean, like I said, it took me about an hour because I had never done it before. The part was $8, and that's the tools I use. I guess if you had a deep well, because you have a big long bolt on the one side. If you have a deep well to hold on the other side, maybe that would help better. I don't know. But this 15 millimeter, that sucker, that did it for me. And there's the old bushings, and man, my wife took that out after I finished that job, and she said it drove smooth. So it wasn't racking back and forth, and it was, a pretty easy job, If you don't have a lift, man, it's not fun. If you've been sitting around not doing this kind of stuff, you're going to be sore. But get a couple Tylenol and you know, take a hot shower after you're done, clean yourself up, and it should go well for you. So if you want to put any comments in, go ahead, that'd be great. But it's really not that hard a job, you know. Like I said, it's get the car jacked up and safe on jack stands, and you know, you should be able to knock it out pretty easily. And don't worry if you just want to slide these down. Slide them down out of your way towards the wheel, the old ones if you can, and then install the new ones in, and you should be able to pry these out by turning the wheels. You reach in and grab them, and boom, you just, you know, I used a screwdriver and pried them off. So it's a lot easier than doing it laying down or anything. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video. I'm sorry I didn't make it while I was under the car, but you know, I had my hands full. All right, Don Droder out.